The monsters we see in film and other media are a manifestation of people's fears at the time of their conception. The zombies in George Romero's Night of the Living Dead represented the fear of communism coming to the West, and the kaiju Godzilla was an allegory for the fear of nuclear war following World War II. In Noel Carroll's book, The Philosophy of Horror, the writer states, "The monsters we find in horror stories are uniformly dangerous, or at least appear to be so. When they cease to be threatening, they cease to be horrifying." Guillermo del Toro's films are meant to challenge the traditional scope of monsters in horror and look deeper, seeing the being behind the mask. In Crimson Peak, following the sudden death of her father, the main character, Edith Cushing, finds herself living in a dark, disheveled manner with her new husband, Thomas Sharp, and his sister, Lucille. Haunted once in the past by the ghost of her mother, Edith finds herself tormented once again by gruesome phantoms in her new home. They are horrifying to behold, appearing blood-red and brutally murdered. As the film progresses, Edith's fright becomes a morbid curiosity as she becomes exhausted and fed up from running. She begins to listen to them, to follow their guidance despite her initial fear. Soon, Edith discovers the ghosts have been trying to warn her and show her what she's been too afraid to see for herself. What Edith and the viewer once viewed as the villain becomes the ally. The ghosts want their story to be heard and remembered. They represent not only guidance for Edith, but retribution against the true monsters of the film. In Pan's Labyrinth, our protagonist, Ophelia, whisked away to a cold and dreary military base with her mother and new stepfather, finds herself in the company of fairies. Dwelling in the depths of a labyrinth, she finds the initial monster of this film, the faun. Towering over Ophelia, the faun is terrifying at first sight, sharp and horned and moving in a halted, jerking manner. But as it becomes clear the faun means her no harm, Ophelia's fear abates. She learns from the faun that she is royalty, a princess, and the faun was sent by her real father to bring her home. Throughout the film, the faun never hurts her, never takes advantage of her. The humans in the story are not as kind, but Ophelia perseveres, driven by the faun's promise of reunification with her father. The faun represents not only safety and kindness in a world ravaged by civil war, but he represents the comfort of home. In Guillermo del Toro's most recent film, The Shape of Water, our protagonist, Eliza, was abandoned as a baby, with the only clue to her past being several scars on her neck, which took away her ability to speak. Working as a custodian in a research facility, she meets the government's latest project, a sea monster from South America. As a person only capable of communicating in sign language, she herself is often overlooked and disregarded. She decides to see this monster for herself, quickly learning that she has more in common with this otherworldly being than those around her. She teaches him to communicate and shows the capabilities of this creature when seen and treated as an equal. In turn, he represents the concept of mutual understanding, respect, and love. A monster is never just a monster, And Guillermo del Toro's work seeks to challenge the ideas of what makes a creature monstrous. His ability to empathize with these creatures challenges audiences to do the same, to look past preconceived notions and deeper into the strengths and shortcomings of the characters he creates.
But this is just, oh God, it's not even human. God. What?